Hola, buenos días, soy Nico.
Did he miss you, or is he bored and you easy? Hello? Get out of my house. Get the hell out of my house.
And today we're here for another wonderful week's worth of content. Well, yes. Before we get started, if you like this kind of content, make sure to follow me on patreon.com/Nicosaesthetics for more exclusive videos, weekly live streams, maybe a part of the live streams where we have multifaceted conversations with a varied panel with various topics depending on the week. If that sounds interesting to you, definitely tune in. Patreon exclusive is actually my behind the scenes experience at the Last Latino Oasis, which is rebranding as a new function. I'm gonna go there next year and see how it is, but I'm expecting them to keep like the same clientele along with my experience with DC Black Pride. I did not go to World Pride because I was back home in Texas with my family. As you can tell, I am back in New York City with my same backdrop. Nico, I've actually been thinking about upgrading. I've been thinking about like renting out a space to actually do my podcast episodes, seeing as how I'm at the level of YouTube where I feel like I should invest more. Yes, I got better lighting. Yes, I'm trying to always increase like the quality. So we're gonna see where that goes. I'm gonna check out spaces. But now that we've gotten that out of the way, last video's comment. It was Malik Joseph basically coming out of jail saying, I've been in prison for 4 months. I lost everything. I'm dirt broke. So I'm doing a tell-all and basically shading everybody I've ever collaborated with and throwing dirt at Nicosaesthetics. And somebody said, I completely forgot Malik Joseph existed. Insane. Nico, well, that's the thing. Like Malik Joseph, by the time I started working in the industry, he wasn't necessarily full on filming anymore. I believe he still had a few collaborations, but by the time I switched from just YouTube to part-time performer, I had already covered stories about the knockout situation where Malik Joseph allegedly, pokey knockout with the knife, along with him trying to shoot Elijah Wilde. So a lot of people had already known, oh, he works with scammers, oh, he's fairly dangerous. And then he would make those TikToks basically being taken on dates by his tricks, where he would say he's not attracted to them, he's not really interested in them, but they went above and beyond, spoiling him on a well thought out night out, but he's still never going to hit them up again because he's not attracted to them and he was using them. So, I mean, he already had like a negative reputation before I actually got into the industry. So I didn't really see his content pop up fairly often recently, but yeah, that was the comment. Now let's get on to this actual video where we're going to be talking about I was right. Nico, I love to come online and say I was right. I'm joking. I rarely come online and be like, I told you so, but no, this is going to be talking about Devin Franco and race play. Nico, what do you mean? I've always talked about how race play does not sit right in my spirit personally. A lot of people surprisingly were advocating for it in my comments, saying that some people use race play as a way to navigate their trauma, while others like to explore the more degrading aspects of super happy adult fun time. But my thing is, when it comes down to degrading your culture, your race, your ethnic group, I don't believe that just shuts off, because the people that participate in it find joy and pleasure in being racist. And people always say, but as a content creator, you should understand that sometimes you turn it off and you turn it on. And I'm like, yes, as a content creator, there are some things that I personally do not like to do when I am filming. Nico, what do you mean? I'm actually very particular about kissing people, but I know that sometimes kissing is what sells the scene because it shows a level of intimacy that a lot of people aren't usually comfortable doing. So sometimes I muscle through it, but even in some of my videos, you can see I don't match the pace that the other person is kissing at because we have different kissing styles. So kissing usually turns me off, so I tend to not kiss like people that do not match my kissing rhythm. In this situation, someone being racist and degrading you, is not something that can easily be turned off if they are naturally able to give you that energy, such as Devin Franco. He recently has gotten into trouble once again. If you do not know who Devin Franco is, he is a super happy adult fun time performer who is also a MAGA supporter, which is important because racist and MAGA supporters tend to go hand in hand. When I brought this up, people were saying, why is it important who he voted for? And then he became hysterically more racist as the campaign went on. But his most recent blip in the, let's say, limelight was when people found that old tweet of Raheem Shabazz and Fat Rabbit Killer basically calling Devin Franco's Pink Buchiho reparations, and I did a video on that. I did a video on that because Fat Rabbit Killer actually came out and apologized for that because he was like, I don't know what I was thinking. I wasn't even the one that wrote it, but I co-signed it, and I shouldn't have done that because a white man cannot be reparations. So he actually came out, cleared that up, and apologized. Once again, for the public, it's all up to you. Once somebody apologizes, that's all they can do, but it's up to you to accept it and or not. Now, after that happened, they got backlash because Devin Franco was being hysterically racist online, and they were saying, how could you partner with him? But what you don't know is Devin Franco has been passed around the industry. White, black, Latino, Asian. He has been a community hole, if you will. So I don't think it's fair to condemn anyone that has come across with somebody that has been in the industry for a good ass minute and say you should do better, you should pick better, when his racism only started peeking through recently. And someone who has collaborated with him in the past, Adrian Hart, actually went onto his social media and was dumbfounded by all this racism came out because Devin Franco was in the hot seat once again for coming online and saying a hard ER spit a loogie on the gym floor. They're just trash. And somebody was like, I could have sworn that I've seen you being used as a pocket poochie by a BBC before. And he said yes, because they're only good for being human dildos. So that's how he views black people. We're not going to sit up here and say, oh my God, maybe he, no. That's what he said.
This is freaking insane. Like, absolutely, I'm not even shocked. Nothing shocks me these days. Yes, I'm sitting in the dark smoking my blunt. But people pay for this race play. What is going on with everybody? I guess it's it fried his brain.
Because when people were rightfully saying, okay, so you're just blatantly saying you're racist now, like you're gonna be racist. He said, I am justified in being racist because the black BBCs in my DMs telling me, oh, I love it when MAGAs disrespect me. Oh, I love it when a white man puts me in my place and steps on my neck and basically dozens of DMs of black men co-signing it. He says that he feels right in the fact that he deserves to be whoever he wants to be, even if it's racist, because the people he's degrading are paying him to do so. So when we have these conversations, and we can even bring it back to Big Man C, when he got into that situation with Ty Santana, where Ty Santana said it's not okay to be racist with me and to disrespect me based on my race. And he was saying, oh, well, I do race play. And then you see in the casual conversations, he's racist behind the scenes. So it's so interesting to me how we see these performers come out and they finally show their true colors, and everybody wants to say, but it's race play. As a content creator, you should understand that when $1's on the line, you have to do what? No. Because even as a content creator, when I was doing custom videos back in the day, now I just put out my movie. People that like my movies, they rock with me. People that like my content, they rock with me. They would be like very specific on what they want me to do. And as a human being, you still have the capacity to say no. So when it comes to your morals, when it comes to your dignities, sure, there may be a price line for some, but at the end of the day, you do not have to bite because someone throws some money at you to be racist. It's that simple. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You can choose who you engage with, especially as a content creator, because that's the luxury of the job. You having the final say-so on what you want to do and with whom. So in this scenario, Devin Franco, maybe it's like Adrian Hart said, the meth fried his brain, allegedly. But I just don't see someone being outwardly racist behind the scenes in the hired sense, and then being hysterically racist in person, in public, on the internet, being able to go, well, I'm just getting paid to do so. No, babe, that's who they are. They're getting paid to be who they are. But at the end of the day, that's all the information we have in hand. I'll leave the conversation up to y'all. How do you feel about so many content creators indulging into race play, but using the guise of, oh, well, it's under the monetary gain umbrella as the reason to why they're doing it. Do you believe that people should just stop engaging with it, even if people are giving you money to degrade them on this level, seeing as how people say it's just a job, but it always continues to bleed out into their personal and social aspects? But with that being said, I'll leave the conversation up to y'all. One final question. How do you feel about all of the people of color and Black content creators having to come out and basically distance themselves, along with saying he was not like that throughout the years, so we have no idea why he's suddenly going full MAGA, full racism right now? Because at the end of the day, I always tell people, when it comes to politics, when it comes to racial politics, even if somebody is gay, even if somebody is, LGBT, they usually put their race and their social standing before all of that. So Devin Franco being hysterically racist pro-MAGA in public isn't necessarily shocking to me, for the sole fact that just because you take BBC does not mean you like Black people. We see it time and time again where these political situations happen, and you see so many people, I have a Black baby mama, I have a Black baby daddy, I have a biracial nephew, my cousin is Black, my best friend is Black, and they still are hysterically racist. Just because you have Black people in your proximity does not mean that you view them as equals. But with that being said, I'll leave the conversation up to y'all, and I'll see you guys next time. Boop. And now for a brief yet sincere shout out to this week's third eye tier subscribers, Anthony H. and Justin H. Your continued support are greatly appreciated, and thank you once again to everyone who supports the channel. And this week's live stream discussion will be a live stream to prepare for Frolic Weekend. I just realized my train is there on Friday morning, so I will be doing the live streams the day before. So it'll be a virtual hangout, but all the girlies that are going will basically meet up there and have a small key. Hola, buenos dias. Soy Nico. And today we're here to... I forgot the... I forgot the video comment. Let me just stop this to go check that again.